Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 9th Quentin Tarantino feature film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. A film that stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. Now, I am really quite a big fan of Quentin Tarantino's. I think he has made some outstanding films. His films tend to be events these days because he doesn't make films that often. But I personally think his last 3 films, The Hateful Eight, Django Unchained and Inglourious Basterds, were just all cinematic masterpieces, and I couldn't give you any flaws with them movies if I tried. I just thought they were absolutely brilliant, and he almost peaked with those 3 movies. I just think they're magnificent films from beginning to end, all 3 of them, and I really love them. So I was eagerly anticipating his newest one, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The trailers looked ultra cool. And what do we get with this film? Well, this film focuses on Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Rick Dalton, who was, should I say, a famous TV actor in Hollywood, whose star is starting to fall, I suppose you could say. He's losing a bit of his fame. He's struggling to come to terms with that. Brad Pitt is his stunt double, Cliff, who he's like his best friend as well, and he's not getting much work in regards to the stunt world, which explains in the film. So he basically just hangs around with Leonardo DiCaprio, does odd jobs for him and drives him around. And Margot Robbie plays the fabled Hollywood actress Sharon Tate. Now, the film kind of follows these 3 characters, primarily Leonardo DiCaprio's character and Brad Pitt's character, about in their escapades around Hollywood, with Rick Dalton, Leonardo DiCaprio, trying to get work. He's getting like big parts as villains on TV shows and things like that, but he's not getting the work he wants. He's being offered to do spaghetti westerns in Italy, which he kind of isn't interested in, which I thought was funny, because that's how Clint Eastwood got his start, as we all know. So it follows them around, and then it segues in at the end into the Charles Manson story, if you like. It kind of moves into that territory, hence the Sharon Tate. And if you don't know your history, I'm not going to spoil it, even though this film is not historically accurate, which I will be coming on to a bit later, because I had a little bit of a problem with that. So yeah, it's following these guys around Hollywood, following their escapades, their adventures, and then it kind of segues into a darker chapter by the end, into the Charles Manson. I hesitate saying murders because they don't portray it as accurately in this film. Right, so what did I think of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? I've got to say, whereas I think this film is ultra cool, and it's filmed in such a way as it's dripping with, with retro coolness, and it's just, and the characters are really cool, and the writing is, Quentin Tarantino, is on point. It's very impressive to watch, and it's fun, and it's funny at times, because there's humour in this film. This film, I'm going to be really honest here, disappointed me. For a Quentin Tarantino film, it disappointed me. For a film, it still does a very good job, and it's very good, and it's very entertaining. But I will say this: if you want to watch an ultra cool 60s stroke 70s like crime comedy action thriller, if you like, go and watch The Nice Guys, directed by Shane Black, Russell Crowe, Ryan Gosling. That film is perfection, and that film is much better than this film, in my opinion. That might be a controversial opinion, but I just think it is. I think this film is very self-indulgent on Quentin Tarantino's part, and a little bit disrespectful in parts. It almost teases you, as if to say, look how cool I am. There's overly long, pointless driving sequences, and I just mean just driving sequences. Watching Brad Pitt drive around Hollywood ain't exciting. It's like a 60s jukebox. The 60s music's all over the place. Yes, we get it, you're in the 60s. A lot of people have had a lot to say with how Bruce Lee was portrayed. I've got to say, I kind of agree with some of them. I'm not sure I like how he was portrayed in this film. I thought it was a little bit disrespectful. There's no real tangible story here like some of his other films. And when it segues into the Charles Manson story, it does it in such a clumsy way. You get a weird Kurt Russell voiceover at that point that just becomes exposition. But there's no denying that this film is incredibly stylish, and it looks amazing, and it's got some really cool characters in it. I'm just not sure what Quentin Tarantino was aiming for with this film. Is it a comedy? Is it action? I'm not really sure what it is, and it's a Quentin Tarantino film. It's unique, I get that, and I've got to say how it deals with the Sharon Tate storyline and the Charles Manson storyline. I've got to say I thought it was a little bit disrespectful, and I'm not sure it was particularly respectful to the memories of those, if you know your history, that were affected by the Charles Manson murders, because I think this film kind of glosses over it in a Hollywood way and makes it shows it as if a way of to say, haha, this is what would happen if I had my way. Quentin Tarantino saying this is what I would have liked to have happened. We would all have liked that to have happened, Quentin. But how you did it, I think, Hollywoodized it a bit. So, whereas I think this is a good film, and it may well grow on me, I want to watch it a couple more times. Right now, my gut feeling is to give this film a 7 out of 10. And that has to be a disappointment for a Quentin Tarantino film, in my opinion. So, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What did you think of this? I think it's one of those films that I'm going to mull over for a while and really think about, because it was, I feel conflicted by watching this film because I'm such a big fan of his films, but you know, I'm not going to hide from the fact that I was disappointed, and I'm not just going to blow smoke up Quentin Tarantino's backside by saying it's a masterpiece when I don't think it is. So that's my review for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Excuse me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click the like button. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and of course I'll see you next time on Screen Stars.